Hey everyone, Happy Dude here. And I've had so many issues with the paint on my Sherman tank.
As you can see, the paint is completely ruined, and this happened when I tried to put on this clear coat right here.
And I also used too much clear coat in the first layer. You have to start with a very thin layer and then build your way up. Because now you see the paint just comes right off and it's all over the tank. It's on the bottom, on the top, it's everywhere. So now I have to take the tank completely apart and start all over.
That's the reason you saw me take the tank apart in the previous video.
Now for some reason this paint that I always use right here and this clear coat, they fight with each other. I'm sure there's a scientific explanation for that, but I'm not a paint expert. So if somebody knows, please explain to me in the comments below why that is. And I tried it on my Tiger tank and there it worked. So I don't understand why it isn't working on my Sherman tank. So I'm gonna try to strip the paint off and put the red primer on that I also used on my Tiger tank, but I didn't on my Sherman because it was too difficult to take that Sherman apart. Anyway, now I have a lot more work to do, so let's see if that works. And now we can take everything and put it in a bath with acetone. Because the tank is made of metal, do not do this with plastic because your tank will just disappear. And just after 1 minute, the paint just peels completely off. Once the paint is completely off, I'm going to sand it again. Some sandpaper, 180 or 300 is fine. And then I'm going to degrease it. I'm going to use my acetone. Now this is a very powerful degreaser, but it's only good for on metal parts. Don't use it on plastic. For that I recommend just some alcohol. If you use a degreaser that is not powerful enough, you will get fish eyes in your paint. Once that's done, we can put the primer on. Make sure that you use the red primer. This one is a lot better than the gray primer because that one will just peel off. And it's the perfect day to paint because there's no wind and it's 25 degrees Celsius. Always starts with a very thin layer. Alright, the lower hull is also in primer and now we can paint it again. Once the first layer of paint is dry, we can put on the second coat. Once the paint is almost dry, we can put on the clear coat, and this one is with a matte finish. So the first layer has to be very thin. When it's warm outside and you applied a very thin layer, it should be dry in about 2 minutes, and the second coat can be a lot thicker. can't believe it. It happened again. Okay, so this clear coat is clearly not working together with this paint. But it did on my Tiger tank, and it's the same paint and the same primer. Now the primer is not coming off, so that's something positive. I really don't understand why this is happening. If somebody knows why this happens, please let me know in the comments below, because it didn't happen on my Tiger tank, and it's all the same paint. So I'm rubbing everything off now. And what's weird is it's not everywhere, it's just at certain places. So I'm going to sand it down and put another layer of paint on there. Okay, I sanded everything, degreased it again, and then put the paint on. This time I'm going to let it completely dry out. Okay, it's completely dry. Time for the second coat for the second time. Okay, it dried out, and this time I'm going to use a very light coat with the clear coat. Okay, the first clear coat is now completely dry, and it seems like the paint is holding on. That's good. I'm now going to put on the second clear coat, but also very lightly.
Ah, finally it worked. And it came out perfectly. So now I'm going to put another layer of green paint on the clear coat, because I'm going to put the white star on with an airbrush, and that way the paint has something to grab onto.
Okay, I'm gonna give my airbrush another chance. This compressor is from Fengda, and there's nothing wrong with it. It works great, but it came with an airbrush pistol, and I had a lot of trouble with it. It clogged up a lot, and the button jammed a lot until the button eventually broke, so I had to throw it away. Nothing but misery with the airbrush pistol from Fengda. And since nobody wanted to buy my air compressor, I decided to buy another airbrush pistol. And I heard nothing but good news about this one. It's a complete airbrush kit from TIMBERTECH, and it's only $22 on Amazon, shipping included if you have Amazon Prime. Let's see what's inside. We have 4 suction tubes, air pressure adapter, air pressure hose, the airbrush pistol. Oh, I have to say, it feels heavier than my Fengda. Also better quality material, thicker also. Nice button action. Seems better already. And there's already a 0.3 millimeter needle in there, and you also get an extra 0.3 millimeter needle, also a 0.2 and a 0.5, and also the nozzles and a little wrench to loosen everything up. Seems good value for money. Let's try it out. My collection of paint. White. Okay, first I'm going to add some flow improver. Okay, first problem. Nothing is coming out. Seems to be right. Yeah, the needle is moving. Oh, now it comes out. So I think this has to be further. Okay, let me check. Ah, okay. Now it works. Oof. So now that we have some improver in there and onto the needle, we can put some paint on in there. Okay, there's a little bit too much improver in there, but it's just for testing now. Alright, seems to be already working better than my Fengda. Oh yes, very nice. I'm already impressed. My Fengda airbrush pistol would have been stuck 3 times by now. Okay, for real this time. Alright, the moment of truth. Let's see. Oh yes, very nice. Now I am going to paint over the white circle because Oddball's tank from Kelly's Heroes doesn't have that. And then we just put some water in there to clean it out. There we go. Clean. I have to say, I am impressed with this pistol. Didn't fail on me. And very easy to clean. Then we add some scratches. And then I'm going to apply some sand and mud marks. And then just one final clear coat and we're done.
Ta-da! It's finished. I've also added some scratches on the turret and the barrel of the tank, also on the front and on top, where the footsteps would be of the soldiers, and some mud in the front and on the mud flaps on the side, on the back, and the fuel tanks. And I've also painted the straps, and then I finished it off with 2 clear coats. So if you found this video useful or entertaining, please give it a like, it's free, and maybe subscribe to see more. You all have a nice day now. Bye!